There's a legend that's sung in Rhode Island, told to children with faces aglee, about a hero, an absolute madman, who bombed the shit out of that company. No more Lotus or Power 9 bullshit. Those pedophiles knew it was nigh. That man got on a plane in Toronto, got an AK-4 and prepared to say hi. Adam Worski, axe-wielding maniac. Hasbro, you fuckers, we pray for your soul. Adam Worski, getting away with it. Touch that boy's hole and you'll pay Adam's toll. He enlisted the help of some dear friends, the time-traveling demon Sam Hyde, and they vowed to...
We're getting dangerously professional looking, kids.
They crashed the plane.
Not sure how I feel about it.
When inside there was blood on the ceiling, screams echoed for miles as Adam lay waste to his claim. They rescued the boys and the girls who were slaves, and every last one of them chanted his name. Adam Worski, Hitler on steroids, enacting upon magic his genocide. Adam Worski, hero of Canada. We laughed and we laughed at how many had died. Adam Worski, doing it for free. He'll never stop on his valiant quest. Adam Worski, it might be a pseudonym. Touch that girl's chest and he'll strap on a suicide vest. Oh yes, Adam Worski, murderous psychopath. Cash all your checks, 'cause he's coming for Hollywood next.
I like music to keep me company. I like songs with a sweet melody. When I get bored, I turn on the TV, or I hold my phone and I stare at the screen. I like noise to keep me company. I like static electricity. When I get bored or don't have energy, I like to hold my phone and stare at the screen. I like music to keep me company. I like songs with an artistic streak. I watch the news on the TV so I can stay informed about the enemy. I like to daydream about the bourgeoisie. I like to eat from the apple tree. When I get bored or don't have energy, I like to hold my phone and stare at the screen. Because it helps me feel alright. Because it helps me humanize. I like music to keep me company. I like songs with a sweet melody. When I feel alone, nobody's watching me. I power up my computer screen. I like Big Brother to keep me company. I like static electricity. I like Hollywood and the Illuminati. I like to hold my phone and stare at the screen. Because it helps me feel alright. Because it helps me dehumanize. These human eyes, staring at the truth, getting crucified. And a violent mob without humanity. High on drugs, watching reality TV. They're bored and numb, they're tired and hungry. Listening to this song for company.
Yo, we have transitions now. I say we have transitions now. We always had transitions. I just never fucking used them. Good evening. How we doing? Oh, this YouTube shit is weird. Oh, so this is gonna be a context stream. I have no idea what the fuck the video was actually about. It's always a good start. So it brings me joy. Yes, sort of. We're gonna go with basically giving a breakdown of what we didn't talk about, what was left out for either time reasons or other reasons. Laziness. Jesus Christ, Lisa. Fuck. Yeah, no, we thought it'd be interesting because there's so much stuff from the Baphomet video that, like, for one reason or another, just wasn't included. Either because it's difficult to like fit into coherent narrative. Some of it's really technical, and I was like, well, okay. To be fair, I think it was Shadow. Shadow was like this. He was like, "Hey, what if you did context around things? What if you explained what the fuck was going on?" I was like, "Ooh, that would actually be pretty interesting." Okay. Fuck. I don't know whether to check on something really quickly though, because apparently, what the fuck? Okay, hold on a second. Apparently, Ginger's on Destiny.
Anything they refer to.
I'm fascinated that this is occurring. So we're gonna have a really quick look at that. Well, what the? Okay, what is this stream even fucking called? Oh, I don't have to hide Destiny now. What a magical time to be alive on YouTube.
To this, thread of just things that are harassment that she's done to me. That's caused my reaction to XYZ.
So then why won't you just post it and make it? Even if you're 100% in the right thing that you're saying, you engaging with it and saying, "Oh, like she needs to die, I'm gonna kill her," just optically looks bad for you.
Is this Xena?
Just
Wait, when the fuck did he say that?
They arguing about Xena? What the fuck is going on?
Way, bro.
Okay, I'll be for real. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I'm at my wit's end, dude. I don't. I think I'm getting like I can just like chill and do nothing. I feel like I genuinely have to just quit streaming and get a fucking job because I'm so.
If you are 100% in the right and you have all of this evidence of pushing you this terrible things, that should be enough. So just block her. Make sure she has no way of.
Wait, what?
End it right
what
now.
the fuck is going on?
To be fair,
sounds like you already have enough.
Oh fuck. Okay, hold on. We might come back to this later if we fucking look at the aftermath. Like, what the fuck? We've got a couple of things that really excite me, just very quickly. Nicholas Diorio here. Nicholas Diorio. Content update. Mama Max, main channel, follow-up video will release this week. Initially, it was tethered to the stream, but if the video is done earlier in the week, I'm just drop it. Leaked Cool release and group streaming event will be next weekend, date and time TBA. Video on or before Friday, massive stream likely Saturday with Leak Cool dropping. We're getting the Cool, guys. Listen, I have stayed away from the Mama Max stuff, but I want to hear this Cool. I was tempted to offer fucking Diorio money. Holy shit. Mumbles Raid? Mumbles Raid? Good evening, Mumbles Raiders. How we doing, guys? How we doing? Nice to see you all. Nice to see you. I hope you're good. I hope you're good. We're gonna. Okay. She's gonna shout at me if I don't. God, it sounds like make it sound like family. Can I have mod, please? No, listen, we're not doing the wrenching everyone thing, okay? Listen, we're gonna wrench in proportion to the size of this fucking audience, okay? Because I don't know how this is gonna go. Some of you were all like, oh no, we miss Twitch. We miss Twitch. Listen, all you need to do is promote the stream, promote the channel, and the bigger it gets, the closer we get to dual streaming on Twitch. That's the rules, kids. Okay? So you want you want your Twitch chat back, you have to do some work. You have to work for it. You have to fucking work for it. Okay. But listen. What did we think of the new setup? Do you like the setup? I feel like I've got a drop shadow and everything, guys. I feel like actual. Maybe that's counterproductive to who I am as a streamer. Put in fucking effort. Give me infinite Cope and Seethe content. True. Yeah, we're gonna have more Cope and Seethe content. I think that's the direction I want to go. I've had so much fun working with Jenny on these videos and things. I really want to do more. So hold on, let me go grab her. Let's bring in the woman of the hour. Becky, you're such a liar. You won't dual stream. I'll dual stream. I will. I listen. I promise. I promise you. If we listen. I will start dual streaming when this channel gets to say 600 subscribers. 600 subscribers and I'll dual stream. There we go. Jenny, good evening. I can't hear you. This is a good start. I think Jenny is doing her setup. This is awesome start. This is
Okay, how about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Congratulations. I like doing the lip sounds and watching the VTuber move. It's fun. It's fun.
Great start there. Great.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Go on, give us.
All right. So where should we start then?
You need to get your setup done first.
Oh, do I? Okay.
Yeah, because so we can see you. Cool. So we can see you and what you look like.
Of course. Okay, so I'm just gonna share that window. Okay, you should be able to see the VTuber thing now.
Yeah, we've got you.
Perfect.
You're on screen. How good is that? Great.
Hey.
Loving. I love how high you look. It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. Mumbles did a really good job with this.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty.
Could probably do with like a less stoned expression, but it's,
this is
pretty solid. This
is both the most professional stream setup I've ever had and possibly the worst. Yeah, like they fucking Braindead messaged me. It was like, you need a cigarette, and I was like, you're like the third person to message me that, dude. Okay, cool. Yeah, good evening. Are you feeling good? Good evening.
Yeah. No, I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay.
Not quite sure what to expect, but yeah.
That's... Okay, well, listen, if it goes badly, just don't go to Mama Max about me or anything, okay?
True. Although I do have the beans. I could tell it all.
Fucking Christ.
I'm gonna Cameron Gerard Davis you.
Would you be the
video of you with the vampire teeth in? I could drop it at any moment.
There's a werewolf transformation joke there that I'd get cancelled for making. Okay, look, just some quick things for channel, because I know that people are like, I miss emotes and things. I do want to push this channel, so I would like to get more subs. And here are your incentives. Your incentives are dual streaming, and also once we're at 1,000 subs, once we get to 1,000 guys, you can have your emotes back. God, it's like a little fucking game. So those are your criteria, chat. you need to fight for it.
Just remember, if you don't press the buttons, you're gonna make Hoss cry. All right?
Yeah. It's now I've trained you for 2 years to be incredibly lazy, and I need you to forget all of that and actually do some fucking work. Okay, perfect. So I want to start going over some of the stuff. I've kind of given a brief intro of the fact that, there was a lot of things that we just couldn't get in. We had to admit. But like to begin with, let's actually just talk about the video and how you, well, let's start with how you feel about it. Like, how do you feel about the video and the project now it's done?
I'm really happy with it. I think it was like a great kind of pivot into the kind of content we want to do. I know we started with like the Demon Mama thing, but that's not like the sort of thing we want to do long term. So I think this was like a great way to kind of get away from that and just learn a lot, basically, like research wise, editing wise. There's just like so much stuff has gone on like to make this happen, and I'm just really pleased with like what we've done. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the whole thing.
Yeah, no, I think I agree with you. I'm actually really just happy with the edit, and I think there's always improvements and things we can make. But I think what really fascinates me about digging into it is like there's these weird bits of Chan culture and like old internet culture that seemed really normalized when you go through multiple boards. I mean, Baphomet's like the extreme example of it, of people like doxing celebrities. I got one comment back from somebody who was like, wait, they fucking doxed an NFL player? Like, fucking what?
Yeah, it is like just such a huge difference, the kind of things that were just completely acceptable like 5-10 years ago on the internet, especially relating to things like that. Like yeah, like do you remember the fappening back in like 2013?
Yeah.
Could you imagine if like something like that happened now?
Well, I mean, in some ways it almost is, right? Like the Taylor Swift stuff right now is almost the equivalent.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I haven't seen too much of the response from that, but I've kind of seen people like vaguely freaking out about it.
I mean, it's pretty extreme, the fact that it's, because I mean the fappening, for those who don't know, a couple of years ago, there was a group of hackers that were basically hacking into celebrities' Apple accounts mostly, and taking their nudes and things, and they were basically sharing them on a black market, and this was all for free. But one member of that group decided to monetize and basically put bounties out, or like basically put ads out and said, you can have this person's nude for this much fucking money. And quite quickly this deteriorated into fucking chaos as everyone just leaked everything they had to try and make some money off it. But this was back when Reddit was like hardcore free speech. Reddit didn't want to take anything down. It lasted like a week before Reddit finally had to fucking capitulate.
Yeah, I seem to remember Spez was like really back and forth on that. Like at the time, he was like kind of in favor of the whole free speech thing. Reddit got a lot of shit for that, and well, I mean, you can kind of see how they've changed.
Yeah, I mean, it's one extreme to the other.
Sort of comparable with Trolls Remorse almost.
Yeah, a little bit. I think it's
like,
really
they're compensating.
It's like, hey, yeah, we know we like kept all your nudes up and everything, and like fought you all, but we're the good guys now. We'll ban for literally fucking anything. But yeah, the Taylor Swift stuff's fucking fascinating for that, because as far as I'm aware, the arguments with AI ownership is nobody owns it because technically a machine makes it. So how do you even hold somebody like legally accountable for basically putting the inputs in to get the output? That seems like a precarious legal situation. But I think the outcome's going to be that there'll be a blanket ban on using AI to create people, not just for this reason, but for political stuff. Like politicians and things. I think there'll just be a blanket ban on it, with jail time attached, because it's such a dangerous tool.
Yeah, like do you remember a few years ago where there was it like Key and Peele or something? They did like a deep fake of Obama giving a speech, and it was pretty convincing. It wasn't like perfect or anything, but it was like semi convincing, and it was at a point where like someone could easily believe that was him. So it raises like a lot of questions about like, you know, national security stuff that could easily be used to like destabilize a country in the right situation. So yeah, I think banning it is probably how it's going to go.
I think it's a shame in some respects because the Tucker Carlson video of him just saying the N word over and over again is fucking hilarious.
The TND one.
Yeah. It's fucking great copy pasta.
Jamie, pull that up.
So okay, so if we go way fucking back, like, so you and I have been around 4chan on and off for a while. What surprised you most about Baphomet in comparison to like 4chan?
Ooh, that's an interesting one. So Baphomet was like, so 4chan is like way more chaotic, I would say. Like, no one really cares what anyone else is doing. They're just kind of spamming shit and throwing it out into the ether and hoping someone's gonna latch onto it. But on 8chan and on Baphomet, it was a much smaller community, so they weren't competing for the competition for like attention wasn't quite the same. So people did tend to organize a fair bit more, and they would like coalesce around targets pretty quickly and pretty easily in a way that you hadn't really seen on 4chan since like maybe like the Scientology days, or like 2011 with the anonymous stuff and like when the lolsec were around. Yeah, I think that was kind of like the big thing is like the difference in the sort of things they produce when these communities are like properly organizing versus when they're just a complete chaotic mess.
Yeah, I think that kind of comes across, and it reminds me of other sites that turned up as offshoots of 4chan and Something Awful, where there's a lot more purpose. I think what's kind of funny when you look back on like the admins of these boards is they seem to have really similar reactions though. I know Moot basically got just fucking sick of all the shit, which is what caused 8chan to happen in the first place. And it sounds like fucking Hot Wheels reached the same point of just being like, you guys are fucking retards. Like, why are you doing this? Like, I mean, you have to go too far.
Hot Wheels had that, but like 5 or 6 times worse because his site was like 4chan had some kind of semi-redeeming qualities about it. You know, like back in the day, it was like it was like a legit anime forum, I guess. If that's, well, I guess that's more of a point against it than anything. But it wasn't like just criminals and pedophiles and like the most deranged shit posters on the internet, which is what 8chan was. And it eventually, I mean, nowadays it does actually still exist, but it's very, very different. It's literally just the QAnon shit. That's the only active board on that is the Q research board. So yeah, and
so the only thing that survived is basically a more fucked up version of Poll. That's great, fantastic, awesome.
It's just boomer Poll.
8chan is 4chan's Rumble. Brilliant.
It's actually the Facebook of chans. It's quite funny.
I think it's kind of worth talking about. I hate to say it, but Gamergate in response to this, because Gamergate's kind of like, as far as I'm aware, Gamergate's kind of like the inception point of 8chan, right?
Yeah, it is. So yeah, as for like the Gamergate stuff, I never want to do a Gamergate video, but I think a lot of our videos are going to have to mention Gamergate. It's just kind of unfortunately how it is. But yeah. So Gamergate was basically the start of 8chan because it was Moot getting sick of the Gamergate discussion happening on V and deciding to ban it that created the huge influx of users that kind of helped 8chan reach the critical mass of users that it needed to kind of start growing and becoming a proper website in and of itself, as opposed to just some random alt-chan with like a couple thousand users that dies after a year or so and the admin gets bored. But yeah, that was what kicked it off. It was when he banned it, and I think late 2014. So it was like just before when Baphomet took off. I think it was around October, maybe. I'd have to double check, but yeah.
Yeah,
All roads lead back to Gamergate.
Yeah, it's that's a fucking bizarre piece of like, even like the stream we went over the other night when we did the test stream. It's really interesting how many people either go back to it or want to bring it back or reference it. And even now with people entering like the politics space, it's like, oh well, I was around during Gamergate, I did this thing. That's how people know me. It's like, fuck, man. Like, is this all the internet is? Like, we have one pivotal moment. Basically, the internet gets invented. It's a free speech place, goes insane, and then Gamergate happens, and everything's just... It's like our 9/11. Gamergate is our 9/11, and not in like the way it can now be funny. It's not reached that point. It's not been long enough. We haven't reached the South Park meme.
So if Gamergate was on 9/11, what was the Iraq War that followed it?
Oh fuck! I guess it's the Sonichu stuff, right?
Yeah, I guess. I'm not sure how it fits into the analogy, but it feels right. So I'm going to say yes. Let's go with that.
Oh my god, it's the dimensional merge. That's correct.
Gamergate caused the dimensional merge.
I really want to find out. I've never thought about this before today, but now I want to check Chris Chan's transition date with the execution of Saddam Hussein. Because if that lines up in like any way... our channel's not going to last very long.
I give us 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Just think we can get another video up by then.
Yeah, I fucking doubt it. Oh my fucking god. Okay. So I'm just going to go through some of the stuff that got left out to begin with. Maybe starting at the end because I kind of want to go through it. Can we talk about the Patreon hack? Because the Patreon hack kind of didn't really get much attention in the video, but it is kind of fucking bizarre.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, like at the end of the video, they faked Vince's death, and that came after this Patreon hack, right? So Vince actually left Baphomet just before this happened, or he stopped running it, but he was still kind of around, and he was part of this like social group with Benji and like a bunch of other people. So Patreon catastrophically fucked up their security. Like it's actually insane how much they fucked it up. Like the chain of events that had to go wrong for this to happen is just like everyone involved in this should have been fired straight away. So they put a test version of their website up that was publicly available and that ran code that meant anyone could run whatever they want on this test website on the server side, and they had a live version of the database attached to it. So basically, they just opened their front door and were like, "Hey, someone come and take our whole database. It's right here." So and Vince just took it. They knew about the security breach, like, they knew about the issue like a week before it happened. I think a group of security researchers like reached out to them, and they just didn't do anything about it. They just left it there. And then Vince found it, and he was like, "Yep, that's mine. Thanks."
That's fucking amazing. I just love the idea of Vince being like, yeah, sure, fuck it, whatever, really. So, I mean, it's kind of weird when we talk about hackers online, right? Like, because I think, again, Lizard Squad came up, and essentially they were just... there were some members of Lizard Squad who were really, really fucking good, but like a lot of the anonymous offshoots and around that period, a lot of it was just script kiddie DDoS attacks, right?
Pretty much, yeah. So, like, there are some common themes with these groups. There's usually, like, one kid who's put together this DDoS network, and then, like, other people kind of coalesce around it who have, like, other skills. Yeah, it was mostly just DDoS shit that they did, though. Like, they did... I think it was actually just like a few days before the Baphomet thing. Before they DDoS 8chan, sorry, they took the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live offline as like an advert. Basically, it was on Christmas Day, I think, 2014, and no one could get on. And that was like their advert saying, "Hey, look at how powerful our DDoS tool is. Come and give us Bitcoin for it." Yeah.
Yeah, I think when looking at... Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Something broke in the background. Fucking YouTube.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, you're fine. Okay, cool. Right. I think it's kind of fucking weird looking back, because I remember when I was at uni, Anonymous came up during a cybersecurity module, and everyone was like, "Yeah, they're a secret terrorist organization who wants to take down the government." And our lecturer was just sort of nodding at everyone, and then I was like, "Yeah, they're script kiddies," and he was like, "You're right, there's fucking script kiddies. They're useless." So it's kind of weird now when we look at what people are doing for like doxing and hacking accounts, because so much of it is down to just bad OPSEC on the parts of the targets, right? And this is, again, with the fappening. It's just the fact that it was really easy to get through the kind of human error side of those security checks.
Yeah. Yeah, the reality of hacking is almost all of it is like social engineering and the other person just fucking up massively. Like even like LulzSec, who were legit quite good hackers, most of what they did was just a few basic tricks and then just social engineering. Like you'd call up the company and you'd like try and figure out a way to get to having a conversation with the system administrator and then convince him that you're like the CEO somehow. I don't know how people actually fall for that shit, but they do. True story, that did happen. The LulzSec guys convinced the system administrator of HB Gary Federal that they were the CEO of the company and they needed the root password for everything. And that's part of how HB Gary got hacked. Yeah, it's insane. Like reading back on this stuff, like you think like how the fuck do people fall for this? But they do over and over again.
Well, it reminds me of when I think it was fucking Zoom went after a load of information about Tonka, and he just pretended to be like a wrestling organizer. He just managed to get all this fucking information about the state, like the organization where Tonka said he wrestled for. They went through all the checks. No one had ever heard of him, and like they were able to get like, background information that led them to his actual videos and all the other shit. So yeah, I suppose it's one of those where you just have to be aware of like, I guess, who's phoning you most of the time, which is really bizarre. With the Patreon stuff, what was the actual aftermath of that? Like, what did that actually have any major consequences other than, you know, everyone getting fucked over?
So I don't think anyone actually went to prison over that. Vince left the internet kind of shortly afterwards with the whole like faking his death thing. But as for like, yeah, legal stuff, not really. Patreon didn't talk about it very much. The news cycle seemed to kind of die down pretty quickly. Oh, one thing that was pretty funny though was that in his announcement tweet saying that he'd done it, he said he did so in the name of Gamergate, because like at this point it was kind of, it was even funnier to mock the pro Gamergate people than the anti Gamergate people, and Vince fucking hated Gamergate, so he kind of tagged it onto them. And surprisingly, the Observer actually took the bait and wrote a whole article being like, was Gamergate behind the Patreon hack? Which, like, they did eventually retract it and do like a follow-up where they owned up to it and everything. But it's just really funny seeing that like people who are apparently professional journalists will fall for some retard's bait tweets where they're just trying to frame somebody for some crazy shit they've done.
What, like, I still can't believe Like, they faked going to China and faked to death. What is weird to me, though, is like, I kind of look at people from this period and I'm like, I can't believe they just fucking vanished. I can't for a second believe these people just went, yeah, fuck it, I guess I'm done with the internet forever now.
Yeah, so I tried to find where some of them are now, and I couldn't find anything about Vince. I found something about Benji that went back to like 2019, so a few years after all this stuff, and after Baphomet was like completely dead. But there isn't like that much. It was most of them had just like a kind of slow drop off. It also probably looks like some of them disappeared when they didn't, because like a lot of the Twitter accounts around this have just been completely banned ages ago. Vince's old used to be Holocaust. Just in case you're wondering why that might be that these accounts are banned, it was literally just Holocaust.
I mean, I'm sure Elon would let him back now. Like,
sure, he should put in an appeal. Yeah. We should get Baphomet too. Get the boys back together.
It's never been a better time. They'll like, do you know what? Like, I kind of hope that they're just less retarded now. like I like the idea that they're like living quiet lives in some sleepy town as like doctors or something. Like they run a law firm together or some shit. I think that'd be really fucking funny.
Yeah, I think Trolls Remorse comes for pretty much everyone, so I imagine a few of them have, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it does seem to be the trend, right? I mean, so while we were doing this, we reached out to Hot Wheels. And I've always found, like, so I've done this previously with, like, Teal'c when I was doing research for something. It's a really weird feeling reaching out to people who have long ago fucking left the thing that they're known for. What was it like kind of doing the back and forth with Hot Wheels?
Yeah, that was that was really weird. I'm not signed into my email address on this account, so I can't like pull up the exchange. I probably should have done that before. But yeah, it was pretty funny talking to him. You can really tell like he pretty much doesn't think about this era at all, and he just focuses on like the stuff that came later. Like with the QAnon stuff, Jim Watkins taking over the site and everything, and the direction kind of really taking a hard turn in that direction. Yeah, it was very surreal. I wasn't expecting to get a response back from him, so it was really cool when he did. He did actually remember Benji and like a few little details, but there wasn't a ton there. But yeah, it was cool.
No, that's kind of nice. Interestingly, going back to Gamergate, which is a phrase I hate saying, can we talk about the Gamergate event SPJ Airplay?
Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, let me just pull my notes up for this one. So yeah, there was this event in August 2015. It was just like a pro Gamergate conference thing, a few hundred people, called SPJ Airplay. And it had like quite a few prominent people speaking there. There was like Milo Yiannopoulos, Christina Hoff Sommers, a few of the other people who were like quite prominent in Gamergate at the time, I guess. And Eclipso, or SWAT-Anon, the guy who swatted like Devi Ever and like a few other people on 8chan, put in a series of bomb threats to this event. And they were specific enough and detailed enough that they had to evacuate the whole venue. And if you can actually go back and watch the stream now, you can see the moment where like the police guys like come in and they're like, "Hey guys, we got to shut this down. There's been like a serious threat against this event," and they all like rush out. Yeah, and then like a couple of days later, Christina Hoff Sommers posts an email that contained one of these threats in it, and it's from Ethan Ralph at safemail.net. Which is that was actually like,
oh my god! I've just realized Ethan Ralph basically got keffled. Like oh my fucking god, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah, they really fucking hated Ralph. They had like an ongoing feud with him.
I think it's nice that he got the last laugh with Vince, though, right? Like, I mean, I know it's weird, but it's like old Ralph before he was a complete. Well, I mean, nearly before he was a complete fuck up. But it seems he got the last laugh.
He became the Gunt after this. It's kind of when that happened. But yeah, I don't think we actually included that in the video. So, like, for anyone who doesn't know, it was Ethan Ralph who leaked the chat messages proving that Vince wasn't actually dead. So he kind of got his own back on them at the end there, which is just pretty funny. This was originally going to be like a thread in the video. We were going to talk about like the various points where like Baphomet had gone after Ralph had gone after Baphomet, and then we were going to like use that to connect a few things together and then have this like little payoff at the end where Ralph kind of gets the last laugh, basically. But yeah, there are like a lot of actually proving that it was Swatanon that did this was actually like pretty difficult. There isn't like tons of conclusive stuff, and most of the evidence that people present when they make this claim is a single anonymous post made on 8chan's Gamergate board, I think, where somebody claims to be Swatanon and to have made the call who the got this event shut down. But it's not like substantial or anything. Like, you can't just take that on its face. So there was loads of extra shit that went into proving it, but it was definitely him. Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I'm still surprised that no like actual charges were brought against Benji, to our knowledge, because I mean, he was selling people's social security and credit card information.
Yeah, this was one of the things I asked Hot Wheels about. I was like, were you ever contacted by any authorities about this board and the shit that they got up to? And I was like, no, they didn't really care. which
That's probably
really
fine.
bizarre.
Fuck it. I mean, they were doxing judges. It's fucking like it is. It's super weird that they were like, yeah, I mean, like, fuck it, whatever, right? Because they must have been aware of what was like, I don't know, the Silk Road stuff was fucking wild. Looking back on it, I think there's something about Silk Road that's really misleading, because you kind of hear, oh yeah, it was a site for selling drugs, and that's such an understatement of how weird the Silk Road stuff actually was. But yeah, I mean, it was dramatic at the time. I think it was one of the first major cases against sort of an internet bracket, if you like. So they must have inevitably been aware that there was a risk from the online world towards people involved in that case. He doxed police officers, their families. I mean, I can't believe that he's not like on some list somewhere. As you know, if you ever run across him, maybe arrest him. Fuck it.
Yeah, it really makes you like reconsider like how surveillance works, actually. Because I was kind of thinking, like, how is it that we reconcile the shit that like Snowden was saying about mass surveillance with the fact that there was this open community of criminals who were just being like, yes, we're a community who we commit crimes openly. This is how we do it. This is what we're doing. You can come and sit with us in real time while we're doing it. And apparently this doesn't even register on the FBI's radar. Like,
well, it's the classic thing of like, oh yeah, no, someone shoots up a school. We were aware of him. It's like, it's like, well, if you're aware, why has this happened? What the fuck are you doing? Like, what's going on? Like, it's this fucking bizarre juxtaposition. I think you're right, of Snowden shit versus like what seems to be the case when you look into it. Because one of the interesting things about looking into the NSA stuff, and I found this, was a lot of the really serious stuff that people were claiming was like a huge violation was the fact that NSA agents were looking at people's nudes, they were looking at private messages, they were using it to stalk their girlfriends and ex-girlfriends. I think a lot of it's human error. I think they've got access to all this data, much like we do. And what do people use it for? They use it to look at pictures of cats. The NSA just happens to use it to look at nudes of their ex-girlfriends. That's why they don't catch anyone. They're just like, yeah, fuck it.
yeah, Yeah, no, absolutely. I do think that it's mostly just like a volume thing. Like they don't know what to do with all that data that they've got. And like what can you do really? So it kind of makes sense in that respect, like how they managed to miss this. But it's still really funny though.
Going back to like Lizard Squad for that extent, because I mean Lizard Squad got busted, as did a couple of other like more high profile groups.
Yeah, I think most of them ended up going to prison.
Yeah, I imagine few of them now actually work for the FBI would be my guess.
Probably.
Yeah, I think that's normally the case. Hey, would you like less prison time and maybe some like interesting parole work? What was the fucking what was it called? The tool that they provided to people.
Oh,
Lizard Stressor, yeah.
Yeah, Lizard Stressor. So this was their DDoS for hire service, basically. Let me just pull my notes up for this. So yeah, basically they had this thing called Lizard Stressor, and anyone could just give them some Bitcoin, and they would point it at any website that you wanted to, and you could have it knocked offline. So it was put together using like router exploits. So they would just put out like loads of requests to random routers, and they'd see if they had this vulnerability in them. And if they did, they would install their like DDoS software on there that would connect it into a giant network, which they could then summon at any time to have all of these routers all around the world, like millions and millions of them, just absolutely unload on one target at a time. So that's kind of how they made it and sort of what it was.
I hate to say it, but the way you describe the way a DDoS attack works sounds like a porn film.
Well, I mean, we are talking about network penetration here, Beckett, so...
Like, so okay, I know you've got like clips full of files and shit. Was there anything particularly that like clip wise that you wanted to put in but couldn't? That's properly redacted.
Ooh, that's a great question. What was there? I think we got like most of the really good stuff in. You couldn't see all the goatsy images, of course, which were like very funny. Most of those were from like when they were doing the revenge hacks against the Lizard Stressor users. And
which was interesting. It reminded me of the Tumblr raid.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense though, right? That it would. All comes from the same culture. All like basically just try to do the same thing.
What was I suppose like the focus is going to become Benji because he was the site admin, or Vince because he took over, or Hot Wheels. But aside from Bloodchan, I think the most interesting person is maybe Swatanon.
Yeah, Eclipso. I couldn't find tons about him. I found like a couple of old Twitter accounts of his. He was involved with this kind of... So this actually ties into the Patreon thing again. So there was this kind of spin-off group from Baphomet called Keksec, which is like an homage to LulzSec, I guess. They didn't really do a lot, and they weren't around for that long, but they formed this like kind of loose collective where they would sort of fuck with people in a more organized way than Baphomet, I guess. And they had Eclipso, who called in like the SPJ airplay bomb threats and stuff. Various other like doxers and SWATs. Vince, who did like the Patreon hack. He also hacked the Gamergate.me website. And there were there any other interesting guys from that? I'm not really sure. I didn't look into the Keksec stuff too much. There isn't tons about it left. Most of that is truly dead. But yeah, Eclipso is a really interesting character. There were like a few other swatting calls I was able to find of his that we didn't end up including. One of them was really weird. It was like this this person pretending to be like a 9-year-old girl,
Wait,
sort of
what?
trying to coax. I don't know if I even told you about this. It was so weird. I didn't even know how to like bring it up. But yeah, it was this person pretending to be like a 9-year-old girl, trying to talk this, I think, a 911 operator into sending a SWAT team or something like that. But it was posted a few times on. Actually, I think this might have been when they tried to SWAT Gabe, like just before Baphomet kind of formed properly. I think that might have been what that was. Yeah, there was another one as well, which is a lot like the one that was included in the video, but the person it was about wasn't very interesting, so they didn't get a segment, so that call didn't get included, basically.
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's kind of fascinating to hear those kind of calls. Like, it reminds me of the baby monitor thing that happened like a few years ago. I think that was Zoom, where he hacked
One thing about
baby monitors.
sorry.
Yeah, go on.
I do have this word cloud from his Twitter, which somehow survived. I found an old Imgur link. And it kind of tells you everything you need to know about the guy.
Hold on. Do you want to put it up on screen?
Yeah, I just sent it to you.
Oh,
by
okay,
DMs.
perfect. Hold on, give me a second. Wait, what the Okay. Okay, hold on a sec. Where are we? I like the way the fact that Kid made it in there. Holy shit. Oh, that's fucking funny. Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Eclipso was a pretty funny guy. There was also like there was another really weird thing I found on his Twitter. He had like a conversation with Devi Ever after he had swatted her, and it was like really really nice. Which is
Did she know he swatted her?
yeah, they talked about it, and they were like chill at the end. It was bizarre.
Wait, hold on. Do you have that call?
Oh, it's not a call. Sorry, it's a Twitter thread.
Oh, it's a Twitter thread. Do you have it?
I think so. Yeah. Let me try and
Hold on,
find it.
let me see if we can find that. That's fucking hilarious. What the fuck? So yeah, I just wanted to say hi. Hope you're okay. That's fucking amazing. Okay.
Okay, I don't know if I have that bit screenshotted, but I have the aftermath screenshotted.
Sure.
Where Eclipso talks about it, which is just really funny, considering like everything that happened.
Okay.
Honestly, at this point, I have nothing against Pixel Goth. We had a conversation and we communicated intelligently.
Not all. Can't say that even on YouTube. Universally, no matter what, blocked. Beans, mate, why don't you make me IRL? What? Post your address,
actually, I do
mate.
have
I'll
it.
crack you right in. Right, good. Oh my fucking god.
Oh yeah, the person under that tweet, nobody mate, is somebody else who was involved in Baphomet. I'm not sure exactly who, but they show up in the logs that Ralph leaked later on, proving that Vince was.
Oh, this is going to be too low res for me. Hold on. If you ever wish to visit, rest assured that there aren't any SWAT teams here. From Eclipso. That's fucking amazing. Oh my god.
That's pretty good. Yeah, you also notice Pterodax is in this thread. He was kind of involved with this as well. And I saw that somebody, I think, was it Tachyon Blue or something? Who's like kind of adjacent to the space that we float around in, was like interviewed by, he interviewed Pterodax like a few weeks ago. So I almost considered reaching out to him to see like if he had any interesting stuff to say on that, but he's kind of Not completely sure about that.
So, sorry, I need to go back to my notes now. Fucking hell, it's so weird looking back on this. I think Baphomet's almost the condensed autism of 4chan in one place. Again, I don't think it's the only group that erupted like that, but it's so... God, it is literally just concentrate. It's like someone squeezed the orange of 4chan and this is what came out.
Yeah, it's there are like a few different 4chan archetypes, and this is one of them, like the script kiddie hacker wannabe types who came in after the Church of Scientology stuff and still think Anonymous is the coolest thing ever, and this is what 4chan always was. It is that archetype taken to its absolute extreme. Like, you're completely right about that. It really was interesting, like kind of just reading through their general day-to-day interactions and seeing how that played out when you just took that and made a whole board about it. Yeah.
So, going right back to like the site itself, what actually happened to 8chan? Because I feel like 8chan's one of these things that not many people have any knowledge of other than the name, realistically speaking.
Yeah. So most of my knowledge is from the earlier days of 8chan. The later stuff I'm a lot less familiar with, but my understanding is basically it's just a series of extremists post their manifesto, commits a mass shooting, a bunch of their internet services get knocked offline or get taken away from them. The site gets loads of bad press. The user base slowly leaves over time, and it's just kind of that playing out over and over again until the site became what it is now, which is just a husk, basically, of its former self.
Well, where did most of the user base go to? Because I probably incorrectly assumed Kiwi Farms.
I'm not actually sure, because 8chan, even though it kind of formed around Gamergate, it did have quite a few different sub-communities. I mean, that was like the point of the site, right? It was, as Frederick Brennan, Hot Wheels, the guy who made it, described it was meant to be like the Reddit of chans, which is pretty funny looking back. But yeah, the point was literally to be a place where you could have any kind of community you
It still can be. It still can be the Reddit of chans. I'm just saying, Redditors, leave. There's a place for you to go. Go to 8chan, become 8chan. That would be so funny. Can you imagine?
That would be great. Yeah.
That would actually be amazing.
Another the Reddit exodus. They need their Gamergate moment.
They do need the Gamergate moment. I feel like they've had several, and they've just bitched about it and begged to be unbanned.
They are the I'm furious, I'm going to write a strongly worded letter type of people, aren't they?
I love. There's a fucking great tweet I saw recently of. I follow Reddit Lies on Twitter. I love Reddit Lies. Hold on, I'll bring up Reddit Lies. I love Reddit Lies. It's let's see if I can find this. Fuck is it? There was a post where they were talking about conservatives understand liberals better than liberals understand conservatives, and the person posting it was saying, so the data says this, but I just don't feel like it's correct. What does the rest of Reddit think? Which is such a great example of it being true. Like, it's just fucking wonderful. But I think what's really fascinating is just the way things on Reddit work now is kind of similar to what we'd see in like Baphomet, where admins and mods really do control their boards, but the rules that they instigate are kind of like a universally understood rule set. It's just in Reddit's case, it's, hey, maybe Maybe don't post anything that sounds even moderately conservative, or we'll ban you instantly, even if it's true. It feels like Wikipedia's gone this route as well. Like, Wikipedia seems to have some like real fucking biases in what it's putting out. And I'm wondering whether this is kind of like the end result of a lot of this shit, because left-wing stuff doesn't cause the same political problems for a site that right-wing stuff does, right?
Yeah, definitely. So like with the Reddit stuff, it's kind of become the case that a very small number of people control basically all of the major subreddits, and they set the rules for them, which means they effectively set the rules for the whole site. The culture just kind of filters down from there. It's like a slow build up over time, and that's done a huge amount to kind of create the culture that you see on Reddit now, where it's just, as you say, you can't even post anything vaguely conservative on there. I think there's like 1 or 2 conservative subreddits, and they're regularly getting complaints from the admins to like ban them, because they just can't tolerate it. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I've been going into all the has been hotel shit, and it's really fascinating at the moment because it's getting like each episode that comes out gets more and more pushback, and they've just released, I think it's the 5th episode, and it's bad. It's really bad. It shows it's not well written. It's not surprising, and a lot of like leftists are posting, this is a perfect display of what Christianity is like. All the Christians are just like, wait, no, it's not. Like in any way, like even like the worst sides of Christianity don't look like this. I don't know why you're making these weird fucking arguments. And Reddit seems to do this a lot. It's one of the reasons I hate it. They're like, actually, I'm the smart one. I know what I'm talking about. There's a great fucking, like, there's a YouTube Shorts dude where he basically does a short as a Reddit mod, and he's like in a workplace and things, and it's like his coworker will come up to him and be like, "Oh, are you doing good today?" He's like, "Actually, it is not doing good. I am not doing good right now. I'm doing well, if that's what you meant, but I don't think it is, because it's all this shit." And it's great, because I think Reddit being sectioned off, it's like the LSF stuff with Hassan right now, right? Like, Hassan's crying to the mods that the mods are unfair to him and Redditors are bullying him. Again, getting bullied by Redditors is like getting bullied by the fucking chess club. And you can see the mods trying to be like, no, Hassan, we'll take care of you. Don't worry, everything's gonna be okay, Hassan. Please don't cry. It's really fucking bizarre. I don't understand how they've reached this point. Like, what happened to these people? Surely they must have been like, to spend this much time on the internet and end up this fucking soy. I don't understand. I don't understand how you do this.
Yeah, it really does boggle the mind. I don't have any good explanations for it. Might be worth like a look into, though, trying to figure that out. We could maybe do a video on that.
Yeah, I'd be interested to like do a video of like Reddit's fall into kind of like ridiculousness.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm not sure people actually understand the extent by which Reddit is controlled by this tiny minority of people. Like, it's something like 10 people control, I want to say, like 50% of the top subs. Like, they're mods in all of them, and they literally set these policies, and they will ban people across groups of subreddits for like single infractions. So they can basically just shut one person out of a good like 50% of the conversations that are happening on the site. Just this tiny group. So they really do control the whole culture, and no one really understands it. No one gets it. And there's literally a fucking Reddit mods Slack that exists, like a how do you describe Slack? Just like a big DMing system, basically. like a group chat where all of these people get together and decide what they're going to do. And they kind of share tips. They all know each other. Every single Reddit mod knows every single Reddit mod, by the way. That's another thing. They're all friends. They all have the same politics. They all have like exactly the same. It's freaky. I was, don't ask me how I know this, but yeah.
Clearly, Chud Logic needs to become a Reddit mod so we get the leaks. I completely fucking agree with you. Yes, Chud Logic, use your curse for good and join a fucking Reddit group chat. That'd be fucking amazing. Yeah, no, it's. I was gonna be like, that's not very communisty, but actually, it really is.
It couldn't really be more communisty, for being honest.
I mean, I think peak Reddit for me is the guy, like the girl. I don't know what their fucking pronouns are.
I already know what you're gonna say. Yeah, the anti-work person.
Yeah, the anti-work person. Oh fuck! Actually, do you know what? Fuck, we should watch that. Hold on, we should
just bring it up. Yeah.
Yeah, hold on a second. Let me go find it. Anti-work interview. Hold on. See. Is this the full one? Yeah. Let me just get that up. I'll show it to stream. Where is it? There we go. Okay, you should be able to see that.
Yes. Yeah, okay.
I fucking love this video.
6 million subscribers. Joining me now is the person who operates this anti-work group, Doreen Ford. All right, so Doreen, why?
You just the first 2 seconds, and you already know exactly how it's gonna go. Like we.
Hey, can we get someone who just like looks like a Reddit mod? I mean, this is a fucking. The worst thing is that the left basically psyops itself. This is what happened with Occupy Wall Street and Tomato. It's like, hey guys, we're just gonna fucking psyop ourselves. Like we've finally got national attention. We're finally having a conversation about it. What should we do? I don't know. Send on the most like unmedia trained person. Fucking James from the internet talks about this. He's like, no, like you need people to be who are good at the thing to do the thing. You get a few people who are media trained, and they're the people who speaks to the media. But you know, for a lot of these people, they're LARPing as Robespierre. They want to be the next. They want to be the next savior. The next savior, Jenny.
Yeah, I get the feeling this very unfortunate looking person who apparently walks dogs for a living is not going to be cutting people's heads off anytime soon. I would like to see them try though. That would be very entertaining. I'm sure they could have like a little Randy Stair moment.
Yeah, listen, I'll be honest with you. No, I can't say that. I can't say that. But do like the stream, okay? Before I say things that will get me banned if you don't like the stream.
Why do you like the idea of being home, not working, but still getting paid by corporate America?
Yeah, so there's some misconceptions about the movement. So we're a movement where we want to reduce the amount of work that people feel like they're forced to do. And so we want to still put in effort, we want to put in labor, but we don't want to necessarily be in a position where we feel trapped. You know, you just quoted from Office Space where that person feels very trapped in their job. I think we're calling for a society where there's less of that. But yeah, absolutely, people still want to do things. They just want to do things where they feel rewarded and they feel like they're in a good spot in their life, and that their job respects them and stuff like that. You know, there's varying.
So so Doreen, but you're not being forced to work. This isn't slave labor. You've applied for a job. You've agreed to the terms and conditions of the employment. And, you know, you can walk away from that job at any time and quit. So I don't understand really what this is about, except it sounds like maybe people are just being lazy Are you encouraging people to be
So-
lazy?
So I think laziness is a virtue in a society where
There's just nothing going for them there. They didn't even brush their hair before this fucking interview. Oh yeah, I'm about to go on Fox News in front of like thousands and thousands of people. Yeah, I'll just like put a hoodie on, you know. I'm not gonna bother, like even vaguely, dressing up, trying to look nice, trying to be presentable. I'm not even gonna look into the fucking camera. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just gonna swing on my chair backwards and forwards. It's fine. They look like a kid in a high school. It's like, so yeah, the reason I didn't do my homework was laziness, but I believe in the future, Miss Roberts, where everything's gonna be better, and I'm trying to build that future, and I'm living my ethics and morals. I saw a meme. I don't know whether I'm just misreading it. I could be, but fucking, it was doing the whole kind of like, I live in a society, you live in society, yet you criticize it, I am very smart thing. But it was a slave owner and someone coming up and saying, hey, I think slavery should be banned. He's like, oh, I agree with you. And then the next panel was like, what? He's like, oh, no, I can still keep slaves. I can be critical of something while engaging in society, you an idiot. And I'm like, fuck, can you imagine if someone made this argument to, like, Vosh? That would be fucking incredible. Like, so do you think it would be fine to be anti-slavery but own slaves? Like, I just want to hear his response to that. That would be fucking amazing. To
the slave community, we hear you. We are doing everything we can, except not owning slaves.
Yeah, we're lending you our voice. we don't want to be white saviors. That would be wrong. It's not our place to end slavery. It's just our place to call it out.
If we freed you, we'd just be taking your agency. We don't want to act on your behalf.
Oh my fucking god.
people constantly want you to be productive 24/7, and it's good to have rest. That doesn't mean you should be resting all the time or not putting effort into things that you care about. But I think one of the
What do you think is like a good work day? How many hours is a solid work day in your ideal society?
Sure. I mean, I think as much as people want. I mean, I personally work. I have like a 25 hour work weeks, which I think is fairly good. So I would like less work hours.
And what do you do, Doreen?
I'm a dog walker.
A dog walker. Okay.
Yes.
And how?
So
how
I
old
find a
are
lot
you,
of
if you don't mind me asking?
Sure, I'm 30.
You're 30.
Oh no! I forgot they were 30. I thought this person was like 22 or something.
Oh, fucking hell. I'm just saying, listen, I'm not saying that this person is a fascist, but I am saying that Baked Alaska was a dog walker. And I think that's highly sus. I think they should be banned from Reddit. That's too close an association. Internet person, walks dogs. It's basically Baked Alaska.
Has also been a national embarrassment. So
Yeah.
yeah, they've both got that going.
Yeah, it's racking up. I fucking loved that. I don't know if I could still find it, but there's a clip basically of Baked Alaska walking dogs, and the reason I love it is somebody, like one of the leftists when I was at uni, was like obsessed, like even beyond me, of like the alt-right, and they were like the ADL and Southern Poverty Law Center say these people are the most dangerous people in America. Like, this person, Baked Alaska, is so dangerous. And I remember getting my phone out and just scrolling through. I was like, Baked Alaska, do you want to see what Baked Alaska is doing right now? And they were like, what do you mean right now? I'm like, he's live right now. And then I just handed him the video, and I was like, he's just walking dogs. This is the most dangerous man in America to you. He's making a live stream walking dogs. Like, what the fuck is going on?
You know, Hitler quite liked dogs as well.
True. Oh my god.
Okay. And is there something
You know, it's the way he's looking at them like they're a fucking child.
Yeah, you could tell like from the second it started, like he was like, "Oh, this is going to be the best interview of my life."
You want to do besides being a dog walker? Do you aspire to do anything more than dog walking, or is that?
Please aspire to do more. Like this, do you know what the worst bit is? I feel like this person is rooting for Doreen more than their parents did.
Kind of your pinnacle.
I love working with dogs. If I had to do this for the rest of my life, you know, I wouldn't be super complaining. You know, dogs are wonderful animals. But I would love to teach.
I hope Doreen doesn't like working with dogs too much.
Yeah, it's Doreen in the zoo file leaks. Doreen,
Doreen and Snake Thing both disappeared at exactly the same time. Curious.
Yeah, I've got another interview with Kira the Wolf after this. It's a private stream. Subscribe to my OnlyFans.
Love to, work with people and stuff like that.
What would you teach, Doreen?
Philosophy mostly.
Philosophy.
Just introduction to philosophy, critical thinking.
It's so mean.
God, it's worse than I remember. I knew it was really bad, but I didn't remember it was like this bad.
It's so fucking bad. Doreen, you can teach philosophy. Just start a YouTube channel. I hear there's this really great YouTuber called President Sunday. You could watch him learn some tricks of the trade.
You know, the funniest thing is there is a very non-zero chance that Doreen is actually a President Sunday fan.
And stuff like that.
Okay. Well, I would love to take your class, Doreen. I would just be taking notes the whole time. And you know what? A professor's a very similar schedule than something that you're imagining. So I think that actually might work perfectly for you. Listen.
If you want to do like no work, hey, become a lecturer. They do fucking nothing.
I think this might not be the greatest idea, but who am I to judge? To each their own, they say. It's a free country.
Sure.
Not everything's free,
you know.
but it is a free country. Thank you so much.
Sure.
We got to run. We got to pay the bills.
Oh my fucking god. Oh wait, can I find just for a comparison? You by Wall Street. So is it? Does it still exist? Where is it? I want to find this. They brought Tomato on. Where is she?
I haven't seen a lot of the Occupy.
Oh, is it Ketchup?
I think we should like really go into that at some point. We could do like a video on that maybe, or like a couple of streams on it.
I feel like not enough people are actually aware of what actually happened at Occupy and how weird some of it was. I mean, like, we talk about BLM as an effective protest, but realistically speaking, I don't think BLM really worried the establishment. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that they realized they could, like, placate them pretty easily. But Occupy became, like, quite a serious problem. I think this is why they hit as hard as they fucking did. Let's, are you happy to watch the Tomato interview?
Yeah, go for it.
We'll jump ahead a little bit and we'll get over. Well, maybe we'll go for outline.
Recently, I went down to Occupy Wall Street to offer them this exciting co-opportunity.
I arrived at Zuccotti.
He's fallen so far. Can we just have a reminder of where Colbert is now? So
let's find out the way.
Fuck is it? God, he's always been a fucking establishment shill, hasn't he? Like,
There is nothing behind those eyes. Nothing. There is the abyss.
it's just dead inside.
Just an endless list of lost hopes and dead dreams.
Zuccotti Park, ready for a revolution. My mission? Blend in, become one of them, and hopefully earn their trust.
How much? Really good.
I had to find a way into their world. Just as the skies opened up, so did my window of opportunity. It was time for a call to action.
And the lockout! End it!
I was making connections.
Can you guys believe Wall Street planned this rain?
What are you talking about?
Stop the rain! Stop the Wall Street rain!
As I left,
He's such a cunt. Like, I think the worst bit was, this wasn't even funny at the time. It's just, like, I don't know whether this is just Americans or, like, the godless times that we live in, but this, it's fucking awful.
the park, I had a real sense of what these young people were fighting for.
Okay, where's the limo?
And I had found my rebels, 2 young idealists who could get me inside the movement. I invited these occupiers to occupy my penthouse suite overlooking Zuccotti Park.
I mean, this is so obviously a fucking media op. This is one of the major nails in the coffin for Occupy. It really fucked them over.
Thanks so much for talking to me today.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
Thank you.
All right, let's just get your names here. You are?
Justin Wheatus.
Okay, and you are?
Ketchup.
And I think I might have misheard that. Your name is-
That in one sentence, she destroyed Occupy Wall Street. I don't know where this woman is now, but do you think she ever like wakes up in the middle of the night and realizes that she is like the reason that the fucking movement failed? Like,
She seems like the kind of person who thinks this was unironically very successful. Just completely lacking in self-awareness. Probably tells this as like a proud story, like, yeah, I was there, guys. I was there back in like 2010. I was at the forefront. I was leading the charge for Occupy. And then it's like, no, you were Ketchup. Okay.
All right, let's just get your names here. You are?
Justin Wheatus.
Okay, and you are?
Ketchup.
And
end of the movement.
I think I might have misheard that. Your name is?
It's Ketchup.
And you have a last name, Ketchup?
I have one. I prefer not to say on camera.
Okay, are you wanted by the police?
it might be embarrassing for me to say my last name. Just call me Ketchup.
No.
Are you afraid of bringing shame upon your family? Is it a difficult name?
It is that
Is it Hitler?
No,
It's not Ketchup Hitler?
no,
Or would
not
you tell
Ketchup
me?
Hitler.
It's not. Okay. I want to talk to people who can make.
Oh no! How do you not just walk out?
Yeah, how
right
do you
there?
not just be like, listen, there's no fucking way. Like, look, there are spurgs
This
on the
isn't
all
friendly
over.
banter. This
is like, I'm gonna make you look as bad as possible, as quickly as fucking possible. Just be like, yeah, listen, this is a hostile interview, and I don't want to have it. Like, how is that difficult?
Some decisions.
Yeah,
okay?
so we can't do that for you.
No.
Why am I talking to you two?
They came to.
Because you picked them randomly off the street. Why am I talking? Wait. Random people who I picked off the street, who clearly have no media training. Why am I talking to you? I don't know whether he's asking them in like to see what they say, or maybe he's like, maybe it's a subconscious thing of like, do you realize why you're here? Do you realize the purpose of this?
Consensus within the press group that we would be 2 people who would be good to talk to, but we're just here as autonomous individuals.
Hang on. Did she say consensus? There was a consensus within the press group.
Yeah.
So this is, they were literally sending their best and brightest.
I guarantee,
Oh my
I guarantee Ketchup was fucking somebody in that press group. I guarantee it. They fucking must have been. Yeah, it's my girlfriend. It'll be fine. Are you sure, David? Don't call me David. My name is Heinz now. Heinz Hitler.
Fucking hell.
We're gonna move away and get a ranch.
The whole media group was probably just a polycule, if we're being honest.
Oh, that's fucking funny. I like the idea that their media group is actually just them. Yeah, we're here as two individuals in the media group. Who decided that in the media group? Well, we did. We're the media group.
Listen, this movement is of the people, for the people, by the people, and we're people. So we decided we were going to lead it.
Who speaks for the movement?
No one.
No one.
Do it.
What I'm there to do.
Just speak for everybody.
I can't.
Yes, you can. What is
This is a temperature check. If we agree with what you're saying.
Temperature check?
That's right.
Are we taking this temperature orally or rectally?
If we agree with what you're saying, if people agree, they'll do this.
So rectally.
If they disagree or they're not feeling it, they'll do this.
And how?
Just lie. Just lie. Imagine doing this, thinking it's going to make you look good. Holy fuck. This is actually, I didn't remember it being this bad. This is fucking awful.
And why?
Well, because we want to gauge if we are getting close to consensus.
I see a lot of anti-corporate stuff down there. What's your beef with successful people?
I look around at the world that I'm in and I don't like what I see because I'd like to live in a world where my own happiness and comfort are not born out of the suffering of others and the destruction of the environment.
1 second, I'm sorry. Coming. Hold that thought. 1 second. Yep.
Is this real? Like, were these actually real people involved in Occupy Wall Street?
Apparently. So there is a theory. There's a conspiracy theory that they're plants. That this was literally a media takedown. And I've heard that before. It's like there's no way that these were actual people in Occupy. But my personal theory is when I look at them, they look like people who they're pretty cleanly dressed. They're pretty well groomed. I don't think they were camping out. I think that they were tourist protesters. That's my theory. And they were there for a day or two. They were probably staying in a hotel rather than on the streets. And when Colbert was going around trying to find people to interview, they were like, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do the whole thing. And when they talk about the temperature check and everything, everyone I've spoken to from Occupy who was around the media corps, people who were like making content, like James from the internet is a really good example of this, seem to be pretty closely connected with each other. And I feel like these people had kind of just wandered in. So yeah, I think it's kind of like the Antifa thing now, where you'll get random people who don't really speak for the movement, aren't really part of Black Bloc, and they'll say the most wild shit, right?
Sure.
That's kind of my working theory.
Man, but like they were identifying themselves as part of the media group. So like if people who were there don't know who they were, then I don't know, that seems really weird to me.
Yeah, but the problem is that the media group was all speaking generally through the online world. Most people weren't taking them seriously. So again, James from the internet talks about this. He's like, during the time, the media establishment fucking hated Occupy. And they particularly hated the journalist, like the freelance journalist corps involved in it, who were doing the live streams, people like Tim Pool.
Right.
So the media corps itself, for like speaking, didn't really exist because the media didn't want to talk to them. So I kind of don't believe that they were from any of the official corps. They were just people who were there randomly.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, a really interesting.
Somehow didn't have the self-awareness to realize what was going on when the interviewer gets up during the interview to get fucking room service.
Well, they're quite young, and also they look like
there's young and there's just retarded.
Yeah, but
like,
it's pretty attention seeking, right? I think it's oh, interesting, Beckett. Knowing how this works recently, I would bet they are interns for Greenpeace or Sierra Club. Potentially, yeah. Like, yeah, they seem like college students, or at least recent graduates. What's a good way to put this? When we talk about things like Antifa, BLM, a lot of the like, and on the right as well, there are a couple of activist movements like this. There tends to be two branches of it. There's the people, or at least two sides. There is an inner core of people who are organizing, and they are just grabbing people. You hear people like a load of the Extinction Rebellion people were talking about this, and it got leaked on camera. They were like, okay, what we need is people to sound really fucking extreme. And actually what we're looking for in that grouping is like, firstly, numbers. We just want numbers because it makes the movement look big. And secondly, we want to identify the people there who are serious about being there. And then they get pulled into sort of the inner core and you move up. Because it's actually pretty well fucking organized. And this is the same for Antifa as well. One of the things you'll see with Antifa is, despite people go, well, it's a disparate movement. It's just an ideology. It's like, yeah, that's true. But Black Bloc itself is incredibly well organized with getting people to protest, getting people like organized in the right places, blocking things off properly. And that doesn't happen organically. And I don't want this taken out of context. Like, that's really malicious. This is how all protests that are successful work, because that's how they have to work. Like, you didn't get celebrities turning up to London, like flying in on private jets to fucking Extinction Rebellion without organization. You need that. It's really important. So yeah, I don't actually think these people were real or at least core occupiers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, thanks. Thank you. Sorry about that. You guys want anything?
Okay.
Steak and eggs and some bacon, some sausage. So, oh my God, that was good. Go on.
They have all this money, and they know that people all over the world are suffering and hungry and cold, and they are choosing not to do anything about it, or certainly not to do enough about it.
Oh, come on.
And there's a serious problem with that.
Dipping his fucking sausage in the champagne.
Okay,
no,
let's cut
I'm
to the
sorry.
point
This is a bit. This is a bit. No one would fall for this ever. You cannot be this retarded. It's not possible. I actually don't believe it.
You have spent 2 years hovering around Twitch poll. How do you not believe this? Let me ask you an honest question. If you took somebody like, let's say you took Wick, he'll never watch this. Let's say you took Wick and you put him in a fucking on TV with Colbert or Jon Stewart, and they started doing shit like this. Do you think Wick would walk out?
I think he might, actually. I think he might. Yeah, you shouldn't have chosen Wick. Wick was like... My last interaction with Wick was quite nice. Okay?
I like Wick. Wick. I'm not even shitting on Wick. I'm just saying that Wick would stay. Wick would be a man and stay. Wick, if this ever happens to you, you're doing this like Ohio fucking politics house thing. If you get interviewed by the press and it's like this, you better fucking stay, buddy, because you've got to be braver than ketchup. Like,
Christ.
Welcome to hell. Welcome to fucking hell. This is where we are now.
There's still like almost 12 minutes left of this.
I fucking love this. It's so good.
Is it all this interview?
No, it's not. There's more of it though. There's God, yeah, it is. Fuck. Oh my God.
For a second. I don't know who you people are. I don't really know what your message is or where this is going, but I want in. Okay? What's it gonna take for me to be part of this?
You need to come down to the park, Stephen. I think you
Okay.
need to make your voice heard.
Do you actually vote, or do you just do this? Is there actually any voting?
No, there's consensus building. In
What
other
does that
words,
mean?
That means that when a proposal is brought forward and all
Yeah.
of the discussion has been had and concerns are brought up and possible blocks are brought up.
What's a block?
A block is this.
And what's this? What's this? I saw this earlier.
It's point of process. Let's say we're on an agenda topic.
What would be an agenda topic?
For example.
Rich or bad?
No, an agenda topic might be.
Are they bad?
Not all of them.
See, I might make a
50%?
point of process here.
And I'm gonna block that?
You can't
Okay,
block the point of
can't
process.
Okay, that's pretty fucking funny. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know what? That's the funniest thing Colbert's ever done.
A point of process overcomes
Well, then I don't feel
everything.
good about it.
I'm sorry, Stephen.
So you're the leader of this discussion right now. You
No,
just
I'm
declared yourself
facilitating the discussion.
No,
now.
you just blocked. I had this guy on the
You
ropes
blocked.
over here. I had the guy on the ropes over here.
Mic check. This is the facilitator. We've empowered her to lead this discussion and keep it moving. You need to respect that.
If someone is talking about something that is not the stated agenda point, then someone might do a point of process to say, you know, right now we're on a different topic.
You guys seem like a cult.
I think if I was in this interview, I would be able to hear the laugh track as he was talking.
We're not a cult. Brother Soy Sauce says this is all above board. Oh my god, this is so retarded. It's wonderful. I fucking forgot how good this was. I wanna listen. We might watch this video again because I might get James from the internet to come and watch this fucking video with us. I want him to sit down and accept the fact that he was part of this fucking movement. Do you think
we should get some Occupy people on and just do that, just grill them over shit like this? There is tons of this stuff.
Yeah, some of it was so bad. Some of it was so incredibly bad. It's interesting, like, how many people came out of it looking good, actually. Like, Tim Pool's one of them. Again, it's a really interesting one, because...
Yeah, I'm sure we could get Tim Pool on our, 10-viewer stream. We could pull that off.
Tim, I'll draw you with hair.
Yeah, I think maybe we could get his chickens on. They have their own stream. They do pretty well.
Oh my fucking god, yeah, no. Fuck Tim Pool. I'd love to get Reactor on, like his brother. His brother's really fascinating.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about him.
Oh, fucking Reactor's incredible. I really want to do a video on Reactor, actually, and that's definitely on the list. Okay, so I think what's kind of interesting about the Occupy stuff generally as well is it's almost, again, I hate that I'm saying this, but it's almost like it's the Gamergate of the time. So many people's internet careers were launched off it. It basically it was the genesis point of IRL streaming. Do you know that Tim Pool helped build the YouTube app for live streaming?
The app itself?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he helped build it because they wanted.
YouTube had live streaming back in Occupy Wall Street days.
It was afterwards, but they built an app specifically for it, and Tim Pool was one of the main tester people who was giving feedback and design advice, because Tim Pool was the biggest live streamer from Occupy Wall Street. It's why he did so well, and that's a lot of that I think is down to his brother as well, because his brother did the back end. But yeah, so Tim's internet history is all tied up in Occupy, because he was right on the cutting edge. It's how he made all his contacts and everything. I can't remember whether he was with Vice afterwards. I think he got his job with Vice off the back of this. But I might be getting my timeline mixed. But yeah, that was the genesis point of all this live streaming shit.
It is pretty amazing how long Tim Pool's been going online. To me, he was somebody who only kind of popped up around like 2016, 2017. I had no idea he went all the way back, like another 7 or 8 years back to this stuff. It's like,
well, one of the things I love about the interview I did with James from the internet is James has like a pet theory that the reason Tim Pool is the way he is because of Occupy Wall Street. Because there was a game at Occupy Wall Street of stealing Tim Pool's beanie. And James's pet theory is that made Tim Pool hate anarchists, and he's dedicated his entire life to destroying their movements. That's why he's such a raging right-wing mouthpiece now.
if that is true, I'd actually respect him a lot more. Like, just for being that much of a hater. It's like that takes dedication.
Yeah, I know. It's like just imagine the fucking, like, he just sits there at night and wakes up and goes, I can feel the anarchist tears. I can feel them. I'm finally liberated. He's like the dude who got bullied at high school and like shoved in a locker and just spent the rest of his life trying to make jocks miserable. It's
It's like the worst supervillain origin story ever. They stole my hat one too many times.
The important thing to
I'll
remember
make them
about
pay.
this growing movement, and it has
Or
grown,
cult, as some have called it.
or cult, but I believe it's a movement.
I understand.
Is that people are spontaneously activating with it. They're deciding, they're making the decision to join general assemblies in cities all over the country.
I am a part of 2 caucuses, and part of why caucuses exist is to give a space for marginalized voices.
Are you a marginalized voice?
I am a female-bodied person, and that makes...
You are what? I'm sorry?
I'm a female-bodied...
Could you imagine Colbert saying this now? Colbert? Like, he'd never say this now. He'd get fucking cancelled instantly for saying that.
person.
What is that? What does that mean?
They sound like
The
Democrats,
person who
yeah.
has a female form.
You're talking about lady parts.
Yeah.
What about you? What you got down there?
What do I got?
Yeah.
I work with the Community Relations Committee.
No, what bodied are you?
I'm male-bodied.
You're male-bodied.
That's right.
Is there a difference between male-bodied and male, or female-bodied and female?
Not all people with female bodies identify as women.
So if I meet somebody down there who says they're a woman, I could be in for a rude surprise, because they may not be female-bodied.
I think you have to trust your instincts on that one, Steven.
I generally do, but I've been burned before.
Oh wow, yeah. This is
not that many years ago. Like, you never get fucking jokes like this now. It's fucking wild.
It really is amazing, like how quickly the culture has changed on that. But yeah, like it really was just like 2010. You could say this stuff openly, and it was just, yeah, it's fine. But yeah, this would not end well if you did this nowadays.
Yeah, he'd get really fucked. Has Colbert apologized? Can we find a Colbert apology? I was very rude to catch up.
We should get Colbert on. Get him on the stream. Make him answer for his crimes. we could bring like Keffels on, and they could talk it out.
It wouldn't be as good as the Chris Chan interview.
Leader,
True.
because a good cult needs one.
We don't have one.
So the position is open?
There is no such position.
Let's create one. I nominate me. Do I hear a second?
It'll
Thank
never
you.
get consensus.
Excuse me?
It'll never get consensus.
Okay, but I heard a second. So it's me. I'm your leader. Let's
He gave
talk
you
about.
fingers down.
Actually, I
Excuse
would
me?
block that one.
You
I would
blocked
block
that
it.
one?
Zip block.
Only thing is, but I point of ordered it.
Right.
And then I put it up for super consideration.
No
and
good.
it passed over the stormy seas of your block. Okay? Then at the last minute, I gave it an executive run through like this, and then I went around your concerns like that. And so I'm the leader now. Okay.
Why would you continue to engage with it? Why? Let's skip over this part. Let's see if they do more with them. So fucking weird. Hold on, guys. Can you just hold still while we get the worst possible angle of you? Is that okay?
Yeah, we need a little bit more nostril. Ketchup, can you like lean back a bit more?
Young rebels, Justin and Ketchup. I invited them to my penthouse suite and offered to co-opt the movement for their own well-being.
Just worry about you,
no.
especially Justin. Ketchup will take care of herself. She's tough. Not worried about Ketchup. She looks like she can take some punishment. You, Justin, you I'm worried about. You seem fragile. Let me be your sugar daddy.
And now, the dramatic conclusion of my co-occupation.
You have something I want. I'll be open. You have a movement. I wanted in on the Tea Party, but I dragged my feet and Dick Armey jumped on it with Freedom Works, and I feel like a tool for not getting a piece of that. What do I need to do? You know, whatever it is, I need boots on the ground on this one.
I don't think we can give that to you, Stephen. If you really
you're not gonna give it to me, I'm gonna pay for it. You need help.
But it's not about your money. It's
What's kind of fascinating about Colbert is Colbert was like a parody of a right-wing host. That was like the whole fucking bit. But this is literally just weaponized against them. I mean, it's fascinating, like how scared the establishment was by Occupy, because they really needed to take it down. I actually think it's interesting with anti-work as well. Anti-work, I think, freaked out the establishment. I know that's weird to say about a Reddit board, but you only have to look at like how freaked out people were after like the lockdowns, that people didn't want to return to work, and people still aren't returning to offices. And it's, you know, I think I saw an estimate that's going to wipe something like 80 to 800 billion or something off like office building values.
Yeah, Jesus. I've heard there are similar movements happening in other places around the world. Like there's something like the lie down movement in China, or the sit down movement. So I think they are worried about it like really picking up and becoming a long-term thing.
Well, I think quitting's really interesting. Quiet quitting fascinates me. Because I know quite a lot of people who are doing quiet quitting, and it is having an impact. Like, I know managers who are freaking out about it because they're just like, I can't get anyone to work any overtime. Just like you do people do their hours for the day and their phone is literally just off and they're gone. It's becoming like an issue. I was chatting to a friend of mine like in retail, and he was like, my staff members just don't care. Like, we're not even a bad business to work for. We pay well, we try everything, but the staff just do not care. They don't give a fuck anymore.
It's about the thing we're trying to build here, and it doesn't require your super PAC money.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, come on in. Hey, everybody, this is Yoshi.
Hi.
She's with the Super PAC, and she's our masseuse. Yoshi, would you just go ahead and start? This is Justin, and this is Ketchup, or Katsu in your language. How's that feel?
It feels good, I guess.
Okay. So tell me about some of the popular.
I like the way she has the classic white girl look of, I know you're mocking me, and I'm not going to sleep with you. How'd you like that? How'd you like that, Colbert? I was seriously considering it because you're like famous and stuff, but I'm not even going to have sex with you. Fuck you, Colbert.
So how many moments are we at now where it's like any like vaguely self-aware, self-respecting person would have walked out after this?
Even Wick would have fucking walked out after this. Let's be completely honest.
Is there going to be a bit where somebody comes in and just starts putting food in their mouths? Because I feel like that's where this is going.
Oh, it's so weird. I just can't imagine. Like, I imagine the one thing that they were told, if there was any conversation, was don't get angry at them. They're going to try and make you angry. Don't flip out. Don't look like a violent mob. Don't look crazy. Show that you're reasonable people. Make them look dumb. But the problem is, it's so ridiculous that you look unserious.
Yeah, I think the strategy wasn't to make them angry. I think they might have had something else in mind.
Their discontent that you think the people on the street are feeling?
There's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of anger.
Okay. And what do you think the greatest remedy for this kind of anger is? Ketchup?
What do I think the remedy is?
Yoshi.
I think that we need to start. I think that we need to start from the ground.
Does that feel good?
It does, but we need to start from the ground up, from a basis of sharing.
I'm just saying, let the super PAC help you, and this is how we're rolling all the time.
But
we're popping the champagne. Yoshi's on the jet. This time tomorrow, you could be having a massage in London talking about the downtrodden. But from up here, you know what I mean?
Jenny.
Beckett.
What part of this do you think convinced Greta Thunberg to sell out her soul? Like, I'll give this to Ketchup. She's better than Greta. Greta completely fucking sold out.
Oh, and Greta didn't even like sell out for champagne and massages. She just sold out for terrorists.
I don't know. I heard Hamas is offering 72 versions.
And free vests as well.
Free vests. Greta does like a vest.
But the
Where you can
idea-
see everything.
With all due respect, Stephen, I think that we've been able to get our message out pretty well on our own so far. And
Okay, thank you.
And destroy the movement.
Thank you.
Congratulations. We managed to get our message out to the extent it freaked the media out. So like, we've managed to destroy all that work in 2 fucking seconds. Great job, guys. Well done. Proud of you.
Oh, incredible
Very
stuff. They should have been paid for this. Like just the value they've provided in just 10 minutes.
Just, I hope they were. God, I hope they were.
Del Marigato, can we get real for a second? I'm offering you my show to pump the message. And obviously we want to, just tweak it. I even made up a sign for you, see? Corporations are not people. That's a sign, right? You believe in that?
I believe that.
Okay, let's just tweak it, okay? Corporations are now people.
It's not just a tweak, though. That's a big, important change.
But the Supreme Court has ruled that corporations are people. Therefore, they are. And you saying they're not is dehumanizing a person. Do you understand how you're the monster?
They're just not people.
But it just seems pretty racist of you to say,
Holy shit, you'd never get away with this today. It's fucking wild. Fuck. We used to be a society,
this is
man.
like it's a classic case of like history doesn't repeat, but it rhymes.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
oh, certain people don't get to be people. Are they 3/5 of a person? Corporation owns your park that you're on right now.
Right, but the thing that owns the park.
The thing. Oh, do you understand how ugly that sounds?
I understand
Hey
your
boy,
perspective.
where's my shrimp?
point of process. I
Yes.
think we're moving away from the agenda items here.
The agenda item is that she's a racist.
No.
Why not level the playing field by getting some money of your own? You got to fight fire with fire. That's Jesus.
That's not something Jesus said.
Jesus said it would fight fire with fire. He also said, money talks, bullshit walks. All right? That's what got Judas so angry.
We've had lots of large donations and probably will continue to have large donations, but that does not give the person who donates it
Right.
any sort of sway or influence.
Right. But what I'm saying is that I understand you have got values. And I'm willing to work around those.
No, you can't work around the values.
Okay, well, let's not even change the message. Let's keep the message. Corporations are people, corporations aren't people. Who gives a flying fig leaf? Okay?
We do. I do.
I know you do. And I believe in that. And so does my money.
We don't want your money.
Fine. I'm going to tell you about a few movements that also didn't want any corporate backing. All right? You tell me if you've ever heard of them. You ever heard of the Lefty Lucy's?
No.
Or the Million Man Mambo? Did you ever hear about them? No, because they didn't have any money backing them. A million Cuban men marched on Washington 2 years ago. Mambo down the mall. But you never heard about it.
That didn't happen, Stephen.
As far as you know.
Face? Hold on.
That didn't happen, Stephen.
Look at the face.
As far as you know, it didn't.
Holy shit.
We're talking about changing the world. Do you understand? let's change the world. Let's hit the ground. Let's do this thing. Let's dance on the edge of a knife. Let's live dangerously. Let's get into it. Let's strap on and get on top of our game. Let's get the message out there. Let's be a team. Let's be empowered. Let's have our voices heard. Let's let the little man roar, okay? And I'm a big man that's gonna help you do that.
We're not trying to recreate the problems that already exist. One of the problems is the undue influence of money in politics. So for us to accept large donations from you or from anybody would be recreating that problem.
I was man enough to know when I'd been beaten. The revolution would not be televised.
Ketchup, Justin. I know you guys got to get back to the revolution. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you.
See, nothing in there.
Thanks, Steven.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Oh, no.
No, thank you. Oh, no, it's yours. That's all yours. That's all your money.
Thanks for the advice.
And our handshake was legally binding. Yeah, yes, it was.
So, did they take me up on my offer?
Holy shit, that's fucking ridiculous.
And they still finish with the little hand gestures.
Oh my god.
Like, come on.
Fucking lunatics.
Dude, I'm really like, I don't know if that was real. I really don't.
Oh fuck, that might need some research. I think that might. Yeah, I think we might need to do an Occupy video. Well, look,
We definitely should.
this has been really fun. As a little stream, I think it's very much a different format from my previous stuff. I really like it though. I kind of always wanted to do more of the deep divey lore stuff. Which is why we're moving over. I really appreciate everyone coming over and hanging out. It's really cool because I think a lot of people know how long I've been wanting to do this shit. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and keep these shorter as well. So I think that's I think that's a good stopping point. But I think pulling together lore videos or like old bits of storytelling and things. I want to do next week that guy with the glasses. There's some really cool stuff there where it kind of just with the random shit that happened around them. So I think that would be possibly the next thing we do. Give me just 1 second while I try and actually make something make sense. Does this work? Maybe. Maybe is the answer. Okay, yeah, I think that works. Okay, we're gonna continue to try and do the. Are we doing Lightbringer? We will do Lightbringer. We will do Lightbringer. Fucking Jesuit Taco. There's so much shit, so I think that might end up being a longer stream. But yeah, we'll do a whole heap of stuff for that. It should be really good. We'll be joined. I'm trying to get Linkara's ex-girlfriend to come and join us, because that will just be legitimately very funny. Okay, cool. Right, I have no idea how YouTube raids work. I will figure it out. But in the meantime, I shall leave you with some music. And yeah, thanks so much for coming and hanging. And
thank you for like running the stream and everything. It's been super great. And yeah, thanks a lot everyone who's watched. It's been really fun. And yeah, I think we'll probably end up doing more stuff like this in the future.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Right.
Awesome.
Good evening all. Take care of yourselves. Laters.
Good night. Is the stream still going? Can they hear us? Oh, okay.
They should just hit the
Bye.
wall. She's always had it all. 2 Prozacs a day. Her dad's a CPA. Her dreams went out the door. She turned 24. She's been with 30 men. 3 were only friends. She was gonna be an actress, have her own TV show. You can see her shake her ass in a rap music video. Her yellow STDs is now the enemy. Looks at her average life. Now